Hi class, Jolene here. I want to show you the work of previous students with their Behance portfolio pages. These are all former students of mine, and as we look through these, you'll kind of get a glimpse of some of the projects that they worked on in my GD 110 Graphic Design Principles and GD 225 Illustrator digital illustration classes. So I want to show you what I think works well and why. So here's a portfolio by Aisha. This is kind of what your home page should look like. You should have a picture of yourself, or you could put a logo in there. Um, you should have this about me here, any social media links that you would like to attach. This is a social media site. There's a lot of sharing that goes on. So let's take a look at what Aisha has done. This is a good example of showing your work and then putting it into context. So this is a woodcut assignment. That is her Illustrator file, and then she's used a Photoshop mock-up to display it. It just makes it look so much more professional. Let's get back to her home page. So another example of an assignment we do. Here's photo painting. All right, let's take a look at another one here by Greg Mortadello. You can see that he created a logo for himself. This is a student who's very serious about getting a job, starting a career in graphic design. So here, I'm going to scroll down a little bit and then we'll come back and look at these. He used the same background all the way through and created uh, like a headline of what each project is. And so see here, you can see he used the design from this project in the background. So he added to just putting the project there. Here he used, this is a logo he created, and he used one of the Photoshop mock-ups to create the business cards that go with it. And as you can see, it looks like these cards have already been printed when in fact they have not. It's just a mock. Here he created packaging. It's another student. So here you can see this was an assignment to create um, a sign for a housing project. So here's the sign she created, and then you can see her process. Again, more process from another assignment. It lets the viewer, a potential employer, understand that you know how to do process, that you use process. You don't just go to your final. So here, this is a process for a logo. She's showing her final here, and then how she got to that. So her process. This is Kayla's page. So here's a photo painting that she used a Photoshop mock-up to put it into a frame. Same with this project. This is a 60s, 70s retro design project, I should say. So you can see it in the frame there and then see her process. Same way with this travel poster. More of her process. Here's an assignment we do in digital illustration of a children's book cover, and she's used a Photoshop mock-up to make it look like it has been published in a book. And then again, we see her process. This student you'll see a lot of her assignments here, but you'll see things such as this where she's already started working in the field, and this is a logo she designed for a musician. So we see the logo here, and we also see a picture of the musician's guitar in the background. Another use of that logo and the musician in the background. So this can all be done with the things that you've learned in Illustrator and Photoshop and combining the two things. And here she's got a description of this artist and her website. Let's take a look here. This is another one of her clients, a logo she created and put photography behind it. This is what she did, Molly did for the AIGA, which you can look up aig.org, I believe. It's the professional organization for graphic designers, and Molly was asked to create the look and feel for last year's student portfolio review. So here she's showing it, the poster she created in using a Photoshop mock-up, and then took it a step farther with another mock-up. I should say a step further, put it another mock-up, putting the tags into lanyards. Here's one from a project we do of icons. And she could have just put the icons in here, but she used some photography that photos that she used and showed how that icon would look if it was used in a travel brochure. There's the set of icons and then more of them used with her own photography. This student has several of her classes from Cuyamaca, her graphic design classes. So here we see her digital photography. Again, she's used her Illustrator and Photoshop skills along with what she learned in her photography class to create a beautiful portfolio. She's got a quote here, table of contents, and then she shows us some of her projects and what the subject of the project was and how she shot it. So she's, again, letting a potential employer know that she understands her craft. So she's used captions, she's used overlays. This is really beautifully done. Then if we go back here, we can see her graphic design work. This is a food truck that we do in digital illustration along with a logo to go on the truck. So she's showing us her comps here. Employers love to see this. This is a package design that we do. In one of the classes, this is a logo, so she's showing the logo and then the business cards that go with it, and then again, her process, her comps. Mark Lim, some of you may have met him in, he's now a graphic design tutor Let's take a look at some of his. So again, this is a digital illustration we do for a children's book, and he used Photoshop mock-ups to make it look like it's already been published in a book, including adding a little storyline to it. There's his original illustration, and Mark's a really good illustrator, both with hand drawings and in Illustrator. So here we get to see how he starts his process, and as it evolves into digital illustration. This is an excellent way of doing it. Here's more of his process. So as you can see, this shows employers what Mark's capabilities are. You can zoom in on certain parts. What I mean by zoom in is when you're creating your files in Photoshop, you can take just a piece of something. This is another way of doing it. You can see everything's all on one page here. You can just scroll down instead of clicking on separate projects. It's not right or wrong, it's just a different way of doing it. You can see here that this student used headlines from within Behance, picked a background color, ran it through the whole thing, and then added captions. These are the captions, which can all be done in Behance. So you can do some of this stuff in Photoshop and Illustrator and then upload it, or you can use the power of what's available in Behance to create some of this stuff. This is another project. So these were uploaded as projects. So we can click on each one, see her process, then move on to the next project, etc. This is another way of doing it. You can, again, this is loaded as all one project instead of separate projects, and then headlines, and you can create this bar color, this rectangle color to go above or below each project. That's another way of doing it. And then this again is separate projects uploaded. And this was a loose color project we did in digital illustration, and she used a Photoshop mock-up to put it in a frame and make it look like it was actually framed and hung in a setting. Here's another project that she used a Photoshop mock-up for. Same thing here, digital illustration put onto a book. Another Photoshop mock-up. You can see how beautifully these mock-ups work. Here is a photo painting created in Photoshop, one of the projects we do, and then she used a Photoshop mock-up to make it look like it was actually printed on canvas. Another Photoshop mock-up of a travel poster put into a frame. So these are all the different ways you can use, create your portfolio to help you get a job and let other people know about the work that you do via Behance.